So here's one for you. If you want to see more creativity in your role-playing games, then maybe you should start limiting what is possible. Have you ever noticed that when you play games like D&D and Star Wars role-playing game, if you've played that at character creation, the species or the race or the kin or whatever you want to call it of the characters can sometimes take up the whole concept of the character. I've had newer players in D&D, for example, that have picked things like lizard folk or kenku and kind of just stopped right there. I'm a bird man who squawks, I'm a lizard man who eats the flesh of my enemies. What more do you want for a character? This is why I really like games that tell your players to pick who they are, not just what they are. Blades in the Dark, a game that I will never stop seeing the praises of, doesn't really care where in its world your characters are from or what you look like. It cares about what your characters care about. And from the get-go, it rewards players for playing like scoundrels, which is what the game wants you to do. This gives players, when they start a game of Blades, a very clear brief of what is expected of them and their characters. It's not giving you unlimited choices of race and background and class and subclass and all those kind of things. Because let's face it, it's very easy to think that a unique combo of all those things makes an interesting character. We've all been there. Compare that to Blades, for example. I mean, there are ways on the character sheet to say which country your character is from or what they look like. Compare this to Blades in the Dark, where all you do is pick a class or what they call a playbook, and it tells you exactly what you have to do to gain XP. So in character creation, instead of thinking about, what kind of funny combination of traits can my character have, what kind of funny voice can they have, you're going to be thinking a lot more about how can I make my cutter be interesting and unique by doing violence and coercion. Those are the two key ways to get XP as a cutter. How do I differentiate myself from the hundreds of other tough guys in this city? So because you've been limited into picking one of these 8 playbooks that literally every other player can be, you then start thinking about your character's personality as a thing that separates them from other characters. For example, what drives them, what do they hate, what do they hold sacred? And in our Blades campaign, I actually had some really good conversations with our cutter in our group about his moral code and his ideals that were being tested throughout this violent life of crime. He was forced to do violence and coercion because that's what a cutter has to do. He's trapped in this life. There's no way out unless you are lucky enough to retire or you die. So his cutter was an ex-cop who decided to turn to a life of crime, almost vigilantism, because he thought that he could do it better. And maybe if he was a big bird man or a big turtle man, then maybe he wouldn't have thought he needed to think about his character at all.